So there's the FN 15P, or if you want to be all cute about it, the baby SCAR. Now, the baby SCAR is something that I personally have wanted for a while now. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have wanted it for a while. There are also people who absolutely hate the idea of this gun. The reason why they hate the idea of this gun is because this is essentially a SCAR with a 7.5-inch barrel. And there are a lot of people on the internet and in the world who think the idea of a 7.5-inch barreled AR for 5.56 223 is stupid. I'm not gonna belabor that point right now because I am not the internet forums. Some things I just want. This is one of those things. So I think the philosophy behind this, at least what I'm gonna assume from FN, was they wanted to create a smaller SCAR pattern rifle, or pistol in this case, and kind of let this be a canvas of what you want it to be. If you wanted to SBR it like I plan to do and put a stock on it, you can do that. If you want to leave it in this pistol configuration and then have this sling here, this one single point sling, and run it like that, you can do that too. If you want to be extra cool and put a brace on it, you can put a brace on it. Basically, you can kind of do whatever you want. As you can see here, you have the attachment points on the back. I have this single point sling attached to it for now until I SBR it. But by and large, it's kind of a do what you want. So now here's the thing. It is still a SCAR. This is a SCAR. It has all the typical characteristics of a SCAR. Like for one, you have this kind of like vitiligo color scheme here, as you can see. Still has the weird kind of multicolored FDE. You still have your ambidextrous safety, ambidextrous magazine release. You have this grip that I'm just not too fond of, so that'll be the second thing to go. And you also have this non-reciprocating charging handle. Now, that's why I think this gun shines, because if they had put the reciprocating charging handle on this gun, been very, 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 very bad. All right, let's do some shooting.
All the ammo used in this video was brought to you by Nosler.
Okay, so the first thing with shooting a gun of this nature, you can choose to not use a sling or you can use a sling. Personally, I think using a sling is probably the best way to go because then there's a technique designed for it, especially you have a single point sling that has kind of like a bungee effect. I just grabbed one of the slings I had at home and just threw it on here real quick. But essentially, what you want to do is you got it on the sling here, and whenever you're ready to shoot, you punch out and extend the sling, and then you use it to hit as a kind of like, you kind of use it as a stabilizer of sorts. So let's watch that again. So from here, punch out, and you extend out as far as you can, and you probably want to shorten the sling a little bit to keep it minimized, because I don't know how long your arms are, but you know, your miles may vary. But you punch out, and you run it. Boom, just like that. So, not the most optimal shooting style, but I mean, we are talking about a pistol. Now, I could just as easily take this off and run it without it. Now, you do have a little bit of freedom or more freedom of movement when you do that, and you can just kind of come here and run it like that. But I will say, I feel like I like the stability that the sling gives me. And as you can see here on the gun, you have multiple attachment points to run the type of sling, or at least a sling that has this type of clamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one came with the fifth one on the back as well. But like I said before, this baby is gonna get SBR'd. Now, let's talk about this charging handle. Now, the interesting thing about having guns with this small of a barrel, what you have to be careful of is you don't want your hand to go forward of the barrel. And so, because it's easy to do because the barrel's so short. Beautiful thing about this non-reciprocating version, and they all are non-reciprocating, by the way, is I can use the charging handle as a hand stop. So instead of coming out here, I can hold it here, and that will kind of serve as my hand stop. See? Now I gotta say, what I'm surprised about is how well this gun shoots. The recoil on this gun is like a Tempur-Pedic mattress when you first get in it, like that kind of like that supportive squishiness or softness, if that makes any sense. That's how it feels. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that this is a short stroke piston system. So you can kind of feel that piston system going back and forth when you're shooting it. But it's soft. It's soft, which is surprising considering this is such a small platform. Usually I'm used to the excessive recoil that you would normally get from, not the excessive recoil, but the recoil you would get from like most guns of a bigger size. This gun actually recoils a lot softer than I expected. Now the beautiful thing is with this, if you just don't like this here, you can just as easily take it off, swap it and put it on the other side.
Before you finish watching this video, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, XS Sights. Their big and bright iron sights are specifically designed to make finding your sights in a self-defense situation as easy and as fast as possible, whether it's during the day or night. So if you're looking for iron sights centered around self-defense, check out XS Sights.
That's another aspect of this thing that's freaking awesome, is the fact that it's completely ambidextrous. Whatever side you want it on, you can put it on that side. Now, this particular brake, I'm scared to take off because it's actually not a brake, it's a flash hider. And I'm scared to take it off because I know if I put anything other than a flash hider on this with a 7-inch barrel, it's gonna be loud, and it's already loud. But this actually does a very good job of just basically taking all the gas and shooting it forward as best as can without giving you a lot of concussive force. And I really do like that about this gun. There's also the fact that this gun is gas adjustable. You can actually adjust, has a gas adjustment here for if you decide to suppress it. And that to me is where the gun shines. This SBR'd with a suppressor, ooh, ooh. All right, oh man, just keep talking to me, baby, just sing to me. So and the funny thing is, I do enjoy it like this, but for me, I'm a stock guy. I want a stock. And so as intuitive as, like, the more I shoot like this, the more intuitive it becomes. I'm not gonna lie to you, it gets a little awkward at first, especially if you haven't done it before, especially if you are used to kind of getting a stock and then running it that way. Your recoil management, your stance, all of that starts to matter because you don't have that other point of contact that you normally get with a stock. But because this gun shoots light, I can sit here on target more or less with no issues. And even if I wanted to go back and forth, bump this up a little bit. If I wanted to go here, like, you can do it. And I think a lot of it has to do with just the freedom of movement you kind of naturally have. But like I said, you give up the stability for freedom of movement. Whereas if I had a rifle, I'm kind of stuck in that manner. Whereas here, I have the freedom to kind of move the way I kind of naturally want to. Of course, the gun comes with 10 or 30 round mags, or in this case, I have the YouTube approved 25 round magazines for this particular gun. But if you want 30 round magazines, you can get them in 30 round magazines as well. But by and large, this is gonna be pretty much how mine's gonna be set up. I might remove this rail over here, largely just because it kind of acts like a cheese grater, or I might leave it on, who knows. But I'm running my Loophole LCO, put my little stock on here, put a little Surefire suppressor. Yeah, this thing is fun. So, there you have it. I just wanted to give you my first thoughts on this gun. The gun, to me, is fun, very soft shooting. Oh, the trigger. Trigger is your traditional, typical SCAR. However, I will say, because I don't have the contact of the stock, sometimes I almost forget to reset the trigger. It's a single stage trigger, and brakes, and then pretty much the reset is like every other SCAR trigger. There's really nothing different about this gun except for the fact that it is a 7.5-inch barrel. That's the short elevator pitch of this gun. It's a baby SCAR. It has a 7.5-inch SCAR in 5.56.223. That's the short elevator pitch.
You know, we talk a lot about empowerment in this country, except for when it comes to the Second Amendment. However, I can't think of anything more empowering than having the most effective tool to protect you and your family.
So help me spread this message by liking and sharing this video with everyone you know. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, because the Second Amendment, when it said militia, it wasn't talking about the government. It was talking about you. Also, if you want to know where to find the I'm the Militia shirt and merchandise, click the I'm the Militia link in the description section of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, make sure you hit that bell symbol.